You ready? You're a wolf chasing a rabbit, but the chase has just begun. You can run to the horizon, but you'll never catch the sun. Rabbit ran into the lion's den, and now the wolf is done. Now you're looking for your gun, and she said, run.
Run, run, tables turning, now we see that you're the one. It ain't no fun. Run, 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 run,
It ain't no
fun.
You can run to the horizon, but you'll never catch the sun. Rabbit ran into the lion's den, and now the wolf is done.
When the rabbit's got the gun.
I told you. What up, Mike here. I am your creator, author, illustrator of all things Rabbit Comics. We are back for another episode of the Department Files. I am joined here, of course, by my lovely co-host, La. What's up, La?
Hi.
How you doing today?
Doing good.
Yeah?
Excited for this heat to be going away finally.
Oh, yes, yeah. So y'all, like, we live in Phoenix, Arizona, and today, or this week, I think is the first week of
double digits.
Like double digits. We've been in triple digits since the beginning of time, it feels like. So yeah, it's really nice outside. That's why I wore the Scully in honor of, like, hopefully autumn is on the way.
Exactly.
We don't really get autumn here, but wishful thinking. But anyway, today is episode 4, and we are really excited. We have a really good show for you today. In the event that you are not somebody who is familiar, she's laughing because I almost messed up. In the event that you're not someone who has watched the show before, you're not familiar with the format. Basically, the Department Files is a book, but it's also this show where we discuss one character per episode from the book, and then Law asks me questions about the character's backstory, their lore, how they, how I came up with them, etc., whatever. She comes up with her own questions, and I don't even know who the characters are prior to filming, so we like it that way. So. Today we have a good show because we always have a good show. That being said,
let me jump into the question.
We can jump into the questions.
Okay.
Who is our hero of choice today?
I chose Rabbit. Obviously, Cece's one of the main characters. So I feel like we should just go ahead and dive into him.
That's right. It's funny that we didn't
feel.
Start episode 1 with Rabbit. How funny is that? Well, we had to start with her favorite character. I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
So we'll start with Rabbit. If you want to follow along with the Department Files, you can go to Amazon, and all 3 books are available, but also the Department Files book is available on Amazon as well. The book does not have page numbers because that was a slight oversight on my part, but you will be able to follow along. It's 104 pages, full color. And and today just happens to be what did you say today was?
National Buy a Book Day.
Today is National Buy a Book Day. So obviously this won't air on National Buy a Book Day, but we hope you buy a book anyway. All right, let's get into it.
Let's get into it.
What up? It's Mike. You already know I'm your creator, author, and illustrator for all things Rabbit Comics. But did you also know that I'm a designer? That's right. My brand, Savu, has been going strong and keeping you fly since 2005, which means this year is my 20th anniversary. Also, September marks my 1-year anniversary for the release of my first book, Rabbit. So, in order to mark these momentous occasions, I've gone ahead and made everything on my website 20% off for the rest of the year. That's right. All you have to do is go to shopsavu.com, pick out some stuff you like, and when you get to the register, you're going to put in code SAVU20. That's SAVOU 20 and get your discount. It's that easy. So what are you waiting for? Savu. For him, for her, for them, for all. Now back to the show. Rabbit.
So Rabbits. And Rabbit is actually the main character for the first and second book. So let's just get into these questions then.
What's up? I'm ready.
All right. So is Rabbit the first character that you created in your series?
Is he the first character that I created in the series? Technically, yes. Yeah, he is. I started with if you watch, I think it was episode 2 or 3, I can't remember, but where we talked about how the series it started as a book, as a novel, and so he was literally the first character you see in the novel.
Oh.
So yeah, he was the first character.
And what was the central idea that sparked this character?
That's a good question. What was the central idea that sparked Rabbit? I guess the central idea is that I wanted to create a superhero that um, looks like me and people that I know, and that is more urban than what we're used to, like
Mm-hmm.
accustomed to seeing. Um, and just I don't know. I've always wanted to create. So I mean, if I go back to like when I was like 7 or 8, I used to draw X-Men. Obviously, X-Men was a huge influence in my life. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, everybody knows that at this point. But I used to draw like Wolverine, Cyclops, and all the different guys, and then like cut them basically on pieces of paper about this size, and then I would staple them together, and that would be my comic book, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so Rabbit was kind of like my um, I don't know. I guess the central idea is just that I just really wanted my own superhero, and I just always thought it was cool. And as an avid fan of Marvel and DC properties and Cyclops, we took shots today, and I have shot glasses, obviously X-Men shot glasses. Shout out Rashida for my glasses, boo. Thank you. And and yeah. So anyway, it's funny that so what I'm trying to say is that Cyclops is on my shot glass, and if I sound disjointed, it's because I took my shot. Um, but and so the central idea that sparked the character honestly was Cyclops from the X-Men. And so if you look at Rabbit's outfit, which you guys will see on the screen, and you think about Cyclops's outfit, it's
Mm-hmm.
very, very similar. A lot of people look at Rabbit and they think, oh, Deadpool, right? Because of
Right,
the
right, right,
mask
right.
and the guns and kind of like the
Just
nature.
different color.
But really, he's an amalgam of Cyclops and Psylocke from the
Mm,
X Men.
right.
Psylocke comes into play with sort of the hand to hand combat and like the fighting. Cyclops in the look, I always loved Cyclops had the one strap in the yellow with the utility belts.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, and Cyclops was. Mm, I was gonna say he was my favorite. Storm is. I'm on the fence. It's hard for me to say that, but Cyclops was my favorite, one of my favorite characters between him and Storm. But yeah, and so Rabbit's um, demeanor, his outfit, everything is kind of a nod to Cyclops. Cyclops was kind of, he is the X-Man in my opinion, and
Mm-hmm.
so I guess I don't know. That was the central idea that sparked the character. That was very long-winded and probably sounds crazy, but that was yeah. That's what
That's
I.
good
That's where it
though.
all came
Yeah, I
from.
like it though. And then for my other question, um, did Rabbit evolve differently than how you originally envisioned him?
Yes, that's a good question. Yes, yes, he did. He evolved differently than how I originally envisioned him because I originally envisioned him as a standalone assassin
Mm-hmm.
in the novel that I was writing, and he was fighting against the department. But originally, he didn't have. So, Rabbit's abilities are that he can um, perceive, manipulate, control time, and others' perception of time, rather, and and what that means is that he could sort of slow down his own perception of time to increase his effectiveness or accuracy. He can force entropy, so he could like put a finger on the table with forced to decay.
Mm-hmm.
He could reverse entropy um, up to a certain point, and so like he could like maybe like put his hands on a tree that was dying maybe and like pull it back from entropy. And so this that's something that evolved because initially he didn't have any. It was just like and also I didn't mention he also is he has a healing factor because it just
Okay.
makes sense.
Yeah.
But the healing factor that is something that came way later because I was thinking like, well, you know, I understand that this is a fiction property. I understand that this is all fake, right? Like, I mean, I'm not delusional. Like, I know that these characters don't exist in real life, but there does have to be, for me, what makes a good storyline is pragmatism, and so there has to be some relative pragmatic answer for how something happens, or why
Exactly.
something would happen, or how something could happen, or hey, because you can do this, that means obviously you can do that, right? And so because he can control time and force entropy and pull back from it, it only makes sense that like, well, why couldn't he internally do that with his own body and like heal a wound a lot quicker, because he can do that, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so um and so that evolved from how he was originally, because he was just like a really good, it was almost like a, I don't know, like a John Wick or like a Black Widow type of character, Hawkeye, just like a really accurate Olympian level human being, versus now he's a superpowered being. And where I'm going to take him, where I see him going, is going to be way, way further than just somebody who can
So he becomes a
slow down
dynamic
time. Yeah,
character.
yeah. So he becomes, yeah, very, very interesting down the line. But yeah, he's definitely different, and I think he's better for it. When I was writing the book, he really was just an assassin, and so I also elevated from that, because I just thought like, well, that's also just kind of like one dimensional. You just kill people for a living and you're really good at it. Okay, so is the Equalizer. You know what I mean? So like, how are you any different? And so yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
So Rabbit used to work for the department.
Mm.
Is he a true hero or is he something else?
Mm. Is he a true hero, or is he something? What would the something else be?
I mean, I guess in the world of comics, Vigilante would be the other option,
Is he a true hero, or is he a vigilante?
or
So, or
the bad guy.
um, he's definitely not a villain. I can say that for sure. But and I'm just so I'm gonna answer the question, but I want to ask you, like, who is, when you think about vigilantes in any property, what character comes to mind for you?
Batman.
Batman.
First thing. And for me, Vigilante is like their heart is in the right place, but they're not afraid to break some rules to get done what just needed to be done.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Um, I guess by that definition, he could be considered a vigilante. I think that he leans more towards the hero side of things, just um, because of his goal, right? Like the whole point of Rabbit is that he's working to dismantle the corrupt department. Because I mean, Cyrus wants to take over the world, and so he's trying to uh, stand in the way of that. Sometimes he has to do things that an objective observer would say, I mean, that's a bad thing to do, right? Like killing people. He is an ex-assassin. He is not in the mercenary business necessarily anymore, but he's not above. He's not the hero. Like, he's not Batman.
But he don't
Batman
mind
won't kill.
murking bad if he needs to.
He he might. You know what I mean? Like, he might. But he does. I am leaning more towards, like, he tries to, like, hey, like, specifically because of his power set, right? Like, he doesn't necessarily need to kill you. He can force entropy. He can push your mind. He can age you. He could de-age your experience. So he could touch your shoulder. And the way that his power sets work is that he could pull, because as you grow through life, you're developing and you're learning, right? He can pull those neurons from your brain, and kind of like de-age them and de-age you back to a mental space before you learn that skill set.
Right.
So now you can't fight, so you're effective. It's like, what are you going to do? But he doesn't have to kill you to do that. But there are people that are trying to kill him that.
So he got to do what he got to do.
Yeah, and I say that, and I'm like, I'm even hesitant. I mean, if this sounds disjointed, it's because in the first book, he obviously, there's that scene,
Right.
right? So I mean, It's like he definitely is not above killing people. My boy is not. He's not a villain. He's not a villain, and that's not the point of him. He does exist. Almost. He's a. If I want to get philosophical for a second, I would say that he is what all human beings are.
Right. Intention versus method.
It's like we're not all good. We're not all bad. We're somewhere in the middle. And you try to be as good as possible. You try to care about your community and be an upstanding member in society. And but there are times when you have to get into good trouble.
Period.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and if you know what I mean, you know what I mean when I say good trouble. But this is not that type of podcast, so I don't want to get political. But yeah, like there are times where you have to get into good trouble, and so excuse me, he is that. He's also a black man in the world, and so I am too. And so my experiences inform his experiences because I'm writing in a way that is, like I said, call back to pragmatism and reality. And so yeah, there are times where you have to do things where it's like in any other scenario this would be objectively bad, but it's for the greater good, so we'll allow it.
I
You
call
know what
it
I mean?
trouble with purpose.
Exactly. I mean, how many comics have the X-Men have teamed up with Magneto?
Right.
He's a terrorist.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's a huge
Mystique.
And these are huge simplifications, right? Like they're not just terrorists, but it's like that's what we would call them in real life. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, sometimes you have to team up with him. He's the master of magnetism. So,
exactly.
Mystique, another one, and I know I always call back to X-Men. I swear I watch and read other properties, but I just love the X-Men. So they're like always at the forefront of my mind. But yeah, I don't know. Let me ask you, what is your perspective after reading the books and just kind of like, what do you think Rabbit is?
I feel like Rabbit is probably one of the most dynamic characters. It's the most relatable as far as the real world works. Like we have to face challenges every day, and it's like, do you sit there and let things happen, or do you make things shake? And Rabbit's a shaker.
Yeah, he's definitely a shaker. But so is his maker. No, let me stop. That was so corny.
It was. But I felt it though. Is there any hidden details or secrets in your world that readers might not notice at first?
In this book, or just like period?
Yeah, in this book, period.
In this book, I don't know that there's any hidden details in this book. This is more like an encyclopedia. I mean, there's the one detail that I talk about with Bishop's gun, the Goodnight Moon, that's on her gun. So that's in this book. You'll see it. It's kind of a hidden detail. There's also a nod to Sulu, which is my clothing brand. That's also in this book. But they're not really hidden details. But in this book, there are 6 hidden details. And each one is once you see them, it's like, oh, that's kind of obvious. But yes, there are. I don't know if I want to. Should I tell? Do you want to know that? Should I like spoiler alert?
I kind of want to find them myself now, and then we can talk about it later.
Okay, so yeah, so we'll do that. So there are 6 hidden details in the first book in Rabbit. Okay. So in this title here, with the title book, there are 6 hidden details throughout the book, and there's 1 or 2 closer to the front of the book, and then I think the other 4 like closer towards the end. But and I did that on purpose.
That's what I was gonna ask.
They're on purpose. So I won't spoiler alert it right now, but we'll see if you find them, and then when we film tomorrow, then.
No, what was your reasoning behind that? I know that happens a lot in movies and cartoons, especially. Disney's been a big issue, but like, so what was your purpose for that?
Yeah. So my purpose, and there was a very intentional purpose, but if I tell you the purpose, then it'll give away.
Okay.
So what I'll say is, in general, the reason why I included an Easter egg, as they call them, is because a lot of properties, like you said, do that, and I just think it's just a cool way to like infuse a bit of the author's or writers, or in some case, in my case, I'm the author, writer, illustrator, I'm everything. But in some cases, it's like one person does the writing, one person does the inking,
Right.
and then you have a colorist. And so I think in some cases, it's a way for them to kind of like infuse their own um, personal likes and just, I don't know. It's just a cool way to say like, hey, like that exists in. It's kind of like what do they call it? Canon. It's like a canon thing, right? And
Okay,
so it's
gotcha.
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
like so now these Easter eggs are canon in the universe of Rabbit.
Gotcha.
But if I tell you, I can't tell you too much because then
Yeah,
it'll be
yeah,
so
yeah.
easy to find it. But once you see it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay. I will say two of the Easter eggs are very, very important to me. That's what I'll say.
Good.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I'm excited to get into that later then. All
So
right.
you must have read the book like 7 times. You never noticed?
No.
Never? It's okay.
No.
I'm not shaming you. I'm just saying, like,
No,
it's
it's
just, I'm
okay.
like,
Like,
wow, like, I can't believe
it's
that
me
means that
because
there's,
I really have to be paying attention. I
uh-huh,
mean, I obviously noticed a couple of things just because I know who you are,
uh-huh. I know what you're
but
talking
I'm
about.
very
Yeah,
curious
yeah,
to see what the rest of them are that
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
missed.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and also maybe it's just the story is just so good. You just was too wrapped up in the story.
Period.
You know what I'm saying? All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, today was really cool.
It was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Really good questions. This was a good show.
It was
Yeah,
for
all about
sure.
Rabbit. Yeah. So, if you would like to follow along with the department files, as always, you can go to Amazon. The book is available as well as the other two books. All you have to do is just go to Amazon, type in Rabbit Comics, and so Rabbit the Department Files is 104 pages. It's worth it, and there are a lot of characters. And yeah, and then that way you'll get your book, and then you can watch the show and follow along. We're also going to have some special guests coming up soon. So it won't just be Law and myself. It will be Law and myself plus a friend. So that would be cool. So we'll get different perspectives and different guests as we
Go
move forward.
support your Black artists.
That's right. It's very important. Support, support, support. Thank you.
Thank
All right,
you.
y'all. We out of here. Peace.